Guys, welcome back to the channel. We've got another product sent to us from our friends over at Betopper. This is the LB150. This is a 150 watt moving head cob white light source with a 50,000 hour lifespan. Small, compact. This time they did in fact send us 2 moving heads instead of 1 so that we can possibly use these at an upcoming gig. Now I did already take one out of the box. This thing is not programmed into the Wolf Mix. It is not programmed into any of the other main DMX controllers. So I will be utilizing a standard analog DMX controller just to show you what all this thing can do. We're in my garage again. I've got my Mark Q haze machine down here. We're gonna lay some haze in the room, see what the light source looks like. Now, unfortunately, we're not able to use haze in a lot of the venues here in Houston, Texas. Just because it sets off smoke detectors, alarms, that kind of stuff. But if you are in a venue that you can utilize haze in, I would highly recommend it. Betopper has got some excellent light sources in their moving heads that produce excellent beams. So let's crack open the box, see what's inside, and then let's turn this thing on and connect it to DMX. We're gonna be using wireless DMX, so I'll be controlling it from the back of the room so I can get a full view of the beams coming out. Like I said, we got the haze machine in the house, so we'll put that out and see what kind of light source this thing outputs. All right, so as mentioned, I did open this one already just to kind of look and see what was going on. But as you know, it's a general unboxing. So the first thing you're greeted with is the user manual, which is pretty cool because if you're going to manually input all the DMX channels into the Wolf Mix, this comes in handy. You got your safety cable, a little lens wiper for your lens on your light source, and you do have the hanging bracket. Very nicely packaged as always from Betopper. And here is the light after you pull out your PowerCon cable. And one thing, this will get thrown away instantly. They send you probably the cheapest DMX cable. I mean, I wouldn't trust this thing for anything. So, and here it is, guys. You can see it's very small in size. It's very lightweight. I'll put all the specs here on the screen as far as what it weighs, but that's it. Check that out. A huge moving head for how small it is. I mean, look at this thing. It is crazy compact. And they've also got on the side here, if you look, I'm guessing these are if you want to bolt it to a wall or a ceiling to like a stud. That's pretty cool. Big OLED display right here in the front with your buttons, just your main buttons, your menu, your OK, and your up and down. And then you've got your fans on the back of the moving head here so that everything can exhaust nice and evenly, top and the back and bottom. DMX in, DMX out, PowerCon in, PowerCon out. And your fuse, as you can see here, compared to my hand, it is not that big of a moving head. This would go perfect on top of, like, say, some Rockville totems or something like that, if whatever kind of totems you use. But we're gonna get this hooked up. There's the branding right there. LED beam, LB150, 150 watt power source. So let's get both of these hooked up. I'm gonna take the other one out of the box, put it here, and I'm going to invert the pan on these just so I give it a different effect. And then we'll hook them up to DMX, control them, and put out the light source, the gobos, whatever it's got to offer on it. Now, I will tell you this, in the user manual, yeah, those are actually bolt holes. So like I mentioned, 100 watt cob white light source, and they have several gobos. I wanna say it's 12 gobos exact. So yeah, they have 12 gobos on here. And then all your channel value tables here. So if you wanna manually input these into your Wolf Mix, I will tell you this, I'll be honest with you. I did try to manually input these into the Wolf Mix and it just didn't work. And I don't know if I was doing something wrong, but it's pretty easy. It's pretty understandable how to operate and how to input channel values into the Wolf Mix. I couldn't get it to work. When I hooked this one up to the analog controller, it worked perfectly. So you can always rely on trusty old analog. But just a ton of channels. It is 12 channel, but you've got all your different values here for different patterns, gobos, light source, shaking, stuff like that, and your product warranty card at the back. So let's take a look up close and personal at the LCD. So as you can see here, it does tell you that it is 12 channel. This top button will be your menu button, And we're scrolling through here, and as you can see, this does give you the option to go up and down. So you got your address, your run mode, which would be like your auto sound and all that. Master slave, choose, manual control, and your settings. You got your display, whether or not you can hang it upside down, if you're hanging it from the ceiling, information about it, and your reset. So that's just basic stuff. And if you go here, you can see this one's on channel 1. They both come channel 1 standard. So these are 12 channel. I'm going to invert one of these so that they will do the opposite. All right, so now I got these in a auto program that's called Calm. And just to see what they look like, I'm gonna set off some haze right now just to see what these beams would look like. And they are very bright. The gobos look very good on these things too. And I've got my garage fan running in here just to kind of hopefully disperse some of this haze going into the room. But the beams, I'm sure you can see this, are very, very tight. I mean, these things look great, guys. And what I want to do is I actually want to take manual control over this. I did invert the pan on the one on the right. Wow. Look at the beams on these things. All right, let me take control of this. Let me hook up the Donner DMX to this, and so that I can kind of control these manually, kind of do some gobos, go through the gobos, go through the light sources and everything, do like a strobe for you, and then we'll check out what that looks like. We're in total darkness here in my garage. I'm gonna go ahead and bring up the dimmer and just take a look at this. This is super bright. Look at this beam with this haze. And I did invert one of them so that it does the opposite. Take a look at this. I'm gonna bring this up. Let me point this at the door right here. I want to kind of spread these out a little bit. But just the beam is so tight on these things. We got a super fine pan, fine tilt. I mean, just super quick and quiet. Check that out. Bring this back down. We've got strobe. It's just super responsive, and I'm using, like I said, the Donner DMX. Total blackout. And back to full white. And then here we can go through our different colors, different color patterns, switching back and forth. And then now we've got our gobos on page 2. Got a gobo shake. And here is where the different rotating patterns come in. You can see that. And what I want to do is go back to page 1. Spread these out a little bit just so you can see them. Super responsive, up and down, pan and tilt. But let me go back to this channel here. Look at the slow fade on this light. That is so perfect. And what I'm trying to find here is the actual, there we go. Strobe going off there. Take that flash off of there for a second. And I want to go back here and just move these around so you can see the smoothness. And I know there's a lot of sound in here from the haze machine, but usually you can hear a moving head moving. And I don't really hear these things moving. I'm gonna let off some more haze here. You can see that super tight beam. This is the LB150, once again from Betopper. I've always said Betopper, and I hear other people say Betopper, so I'm not sure exactly These things are immaculate, guys. I mean, just 360 all the way around. Super responsive and fast. Like I did mention, you got the strobe. That could really set the party off. And then you got your different color schemes. And then we've got the gobos. And if you go high enough, they'll go into shake. So these are all the different gobos. I really like that heart look. These are just an example of all the different gobos that they have on this light. I'm really impressed with this light so far. And then you got your shake all the way up to rotating. I just kind of like it standard. I'm not sure why they don't stay on the same color. Let me check something out. Yeah, so one of these, the one on the right is, I don't know if it has an issue with it or not, but it's not giving me a true white for some reason. And I wish these, as I'm going through the color, would stay the same color. For some reason, that one on the right is doing its own thing. But it works solid with pan and tilt. As you can see there, I'm gonna zoom out. Okay, so after some trial and error, we figured it out. The whole color thing, it was just, I guess, a glitch in the matrix, man. I reset them, I readdressed them again. They're both on channel 1 instead of 1 and 13. And I set them both to master, so I'm gonna bring up the dimmer. And here they are on solid white. And now, when I change the colors, they will both be the same color. Yeah, I don't know what happened with that, but you know, we learn as we go, and if you come all the way up, it'll cycle through the colors. I really like that. Like I said, I'm a huge fan of this heart gobo. I kind of like the slow cycle of colors. It's pretty nice. And I'm gonna go through the different gobos again. So there's some circles. 12 gobos on here. I really like that one as well. And I scooted the lights back some just so you can see a bigger gobo pattern. But yeah, I'm gonna let some more haze off in here. Go through these gobos again. That one is really cool. Looks like a kind of like a gear icon. That one's really cool. I'm really glad they don't have like the hazard on this one. That one is awesome. And I bet from a farther distance away, the bigger these gobos get, they would look awesome. And then of course, the higher you get the shake. I've never really been a fan of the shake. We can go from slow to fast, super fast. I don't like it too crazy though. So I really like that one. And now with the haze penetrating those beams. All right, so let's cut to some music here and let's see. Yeah, let's cut to some music right here and just give you kind of a little light show. Here we go. So there you go, guys. That thing there is, man, I'm telling you, this is solid. I'm gonna come back up here to change colors a little bit, go through them. Once again, the gobos, different gobos, the hearts. I really like that color cycle. And you see how it lost contact right there. Now all of a sudden, it's changing colors on its own until I go back. I don't know if it's because I'm using wireless DMX. Like I said, the beams are super tight and just very, very prominent with haze. I wish we could use haze at almost every venue, but we can't. The dimmer is very responsive. Just overall, a great moving head. I know you guys have seen some of my reviews on the Betopper lights in the past, but this has got to be by far one of my favorites. I cannot wait to use these at a wedding pretty soon. I do have to get some totems though, because I sold mine. I had the 7'2" totems and they didn't collapse, very small, but I want to get the new ones that collapse down to like 3.5 feet and go all the way up to 7. But to give you one more look at the beams on this light, really amazing. My neighbors probably think I'm smoking out in my garage. Bright, super bright. Just amazing. Great job, the Betopper. Thank you so much once again for these guys sending this out to us to review. I will try to use these very soon at a wedding or an event and get some excellent footage of this, because I might even try to sneak in a little bit of haze. I don't want to set off alarms though, but man, I really want to see these at a wedding with haze. Maybe I can get the venue to kind of shut off their alarm system to let me use it. So we'll see how that goes. Small, compact. I'll put all the details for this light, where you can get it, the price. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you to Betopper for sending this over. This was not a paid video, not a sponsored video. All the opinions in this video were mine. All my opinions were great on this light. Until then, we'll see you on the next video. Thanks.